All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're unpacking a concept that absolutely shook up the worlds of marketing, PR, and advertising. We're going to be using Ryan Holiday's fantastic and frankly revolutionary book, Growth Hacker Marketing, as our guide. It's a real game changer, and we're about to find out exactly why.
So believe it or not, this whole thing kicked off with this one single headline from technologist Andrew Chen. This wasn't just some article. It was a warning shot fired right at the traditional marketing industry. Ryan Holiday, who was a director of marketing at the time, said his first thought was, what the hell is a growth hacker? Chen was basically saying that the old school marketer was about to be replaced by this new kind of person, a mix of a marketer and a coder who tackles growth with data and experiments, not just big ad spends.
So to really get this revolution, here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the old way of thinking, what Holiday calls the blockbuster marketing fallacy. Then we'll officially meet the growth hacker. After that, we'll dig into their number one most important rule, making sure you've got product market fit. From there, we'll see how they actually build a self-sustaining growth engine. And we'll wrap up with the biggest takeaway of all, why this is a whole new mindset, not just a bag of tricks.
Okay, so for the longest time, marketing has had this secret fantasy, right? It's always wanted to be in show business. The big dream for any launch, an app, a book, whatever, has been to premiere it like a Hollywood blockbuster. You know, huge budget, massive launch, tons of press.
And this is where you see this huge disconnect. On one side, you have this glamorous dream of a red carpet premiere, but the reality, it's a total crapshoot. As the famous screenwriter William Goldman once said about Hollywood, nobody knows anything. Most movies fail. And when one hits big, nobody's ever 100% sure why. A big studio can eat that loss. Their few hits pay for all the bombs. But can you? Can your business? For most of us, this approach is a crazy expensive gamble that we just can't afford to lose.
So out of that problem, a whole new way of thinking popped up. It was really born out of necessity. You had these scrappy startups in Silicon Valley with zero money for Super Bowl ads. They couldn't play the blockbuster game. So what did? They invented a whole new one. And this right here is where the growth hacker steps onto the stage.
This is Ryan Holiday's core definition, and you really got to focus on those three words: testable, trackable, and scalable. That's everything. A growth hacker doesn't care about fuzzy concepts like brand awareness. They are completely obsessed with just one thing: growth. Real, measurable growth, proven by actual users and a real return on investment. And this chart just lays out the shift perfectly. The traditional marketer, they see themselves as an artist, using big, expensive tools like TV commercials and PR to create this idea of a brand. The growth hacker is a scientist. Their tools are precise, things like email lists, APIs, A/B tests. And their goal isn't mindshare, it's measurable user growth. It's a complete identity shift from artist to scientist. You want the perfect example of this in action? Look no further than the legendary Hotmail story. So the founders are thinking about how to market their new free email service, maybe with billboards or something. But their investor, Tim Draper, has this completely different idea. He just asks, hey, could you put a message at the bottom of everybody's screen? That one simple line, P.S., I love you, get your free email at Hotmail, turned every single user into a free marketer. The growth was explosive, creating a $400 million company with almost no marketing budget.
Okay, so where does a growth hacker actually start? Not with a billboard, not with an ad. Nope. They start with the product itself. Because here's the absolute truth, something Holiday makes crystal clear. The single worst marketing decision you can possibly make is starting with a product that nobody wants or needs. And that brings us to the most critical concept in all of growth hacking: product market fit. This little quote from Y Combinator founder Paul Graham, it's basically the unofficial motto of Silicon Valley, and it is the absolute heart of product market fit. It's all about making sure your product and its customers are just in sync, a perfect match. Growth hackers believe you should keep changing and tweaking your product until you get that explosive, must-have reaction from your very first user. And Instagram is the poster child for this. It actually started as this clunky, complicated app called Bourbon, but the founders were smart. They looked at the data and saw that people were ignoring almost everything, except the photo filters. So they made a really gutsy call. They threw out most of their work and relaunched with only that one feature. That pivot, that was the best marketing decision they ever made. 100,000 users in a single week. And you know the rest of that story. Okay, so you've done the hard work, you've got product market fit, people want what you've built. Now what? Well, the next step isn't to launch some huge campaign to everyone. It's more like a targeted mission. Find those first passionate users, the ones who will become your champions and help you grow. Let's take a look at Dropbox. Amazing product, right?
But when they tried traditional advertising, they slammed right into a brick wall. The math just didn't work. I mean, look at this. It was costing them hundreds of dollars to get a single customer who was only paying $99 for the product. That's a business model that's going straight to zero fast.
So the team has this total epiphany, a real light bulb moment. They're thinking, wait a minute, we're paying Google for ads. What if we just paid our users instead? And not with cash, but with something they probably valued even more, free storage space. And the result was just staggering. A 60% jump in signups that didn't just spike and fall, it was sustained. By paying users with something they actually wanted, Dropbox built one of the most famous viral loops in history right into the product itself. And get this, that program still accounts for about 35% of all their customers today. Incredible. So here's the real kicker, the most important part of this whole explainer. You can't just go out tomorrow and copy the Hotmail signature or the Dropbox referral program. Those specific tricks, they might be played out. The real power here, the real hack, isn't a specific tool. It's a complete and total shift in your thinking.
As growth hacker Aaron Ginn puts it so well, growth hacking is more of a mindset than a toolkit. And that, right there, is the single most important takeaway. It's about adopting a new way of looking at your entire business, where your product and your marketing are completely woven together, and every single decision is guided by data. So what does this mindset look like in practice? It means everything is a test. It means you see your product as your single best marketing tool. It's a laser focus on actual users and ROI, not fuzzy ideas about branding. It all starts with nailing that product market fit. It relies on your own customers to help spread the word. And it's never done. It's a fluid, constant process of testing and improving. And that brings us to the final question, the one you should be asking yourself and your team. Is your marketing a big, expensive roll of the dice, just hoping for that one blockbuster hit? Or are you building an engine, something that's testable, trackable, and scalable? Because the future, well, it belongs to the builders. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.